Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today I am bringing you the second episode on how to play Raidraptors. And as I stated in my last video, this time we will be talking about the rank up magics and the XCs that you want to play. As you can see, we have 6 rank up magics and 6 XCs. You can play any and all of the rank up magics, but I wouldn't recommend it just because one of them it's really not necessary in the other one. You could play it, but again, I'm not playing in my deck just because it's not very necessary. As you can see by the sleeves over here, I'm playing these 4 but not these 2. You could play Raid Force. It's a very good card, but again, for the third time, it's not necessary. What it does for you, you can already achieve with Revolution Force in a better way. So let's get on with. I'm gonna start explaining what they do, just in case you don't know. We have the first rank cap magic that we got. It was Raptors Force. Raptors Force was a pretty cute card just because it was a quick play rank cap magic that you could search with Tribute Lineage, even though we did not have it. And it was actually pretty cool, but at the time we didn't have that many Xyz. We only had Rise Falcon, and then we got Blaze Falcon, Revolution Falcon later. But it was really difficult to make those guys because we had like no monsters to summon Rise Falcon in the first place. So I actually never touched this card. I never tried playing in my deck. It was just really not very good, even though it's a Raidraptor exclusive rank cap magic is not very good, so I wouldn't recommend playing any. And it states that if a Raidraptor monster you control was destroyed this turn, you can target one Raidraptor in the graveyard, special summon it against an Xyz. All of this has to deal with Xyz, Raidraptor Xyz. So if it was destroyed, special summon one other Xyz from the graveyard, then special summon one Raidraptor Xyz from the extra deck that has one rank higher. So even though it's a cool concept, but you don't want to be letting your opponent destroy your cards and then making plays from it. So I think this card is not very good. So we can just put it to the side. I wouldn't recommend playing any. The one that I would tell you to play at least one of, but at the moment I'm not playing any just because it's not necessary yet again. It's Raid Force. Raid Force has a very cool effect in the way that it can rank up any Xyz on the field one rank higher. So if you have a Castell or an Abyss Dweller, you can make a Blaze Falcon out of it just because it requires a regular Xyz or any Xyz for that matter and turn it into a Raidraptor Xyz. And it has a graveyard effect that you can banish this card and a Raidraptor monster from your hand to add one rank up magic from the graveyard back to the hand, except for Raid Force. So you can grab any other rank up magics. But as I stated, this card is not necessary, so I wouldn't bother with it. Maybe you can try one, but again, it's not needed. For the ones that I am playing one Revolution Force just because it's a quick play on my turn. If when I summon a Force Strikes or any of my guys, they compose or they do something, they would try to get rid of it by targeting it. I can chain to it, and then I still keep my guy and make Blaze Falcon, which, as you know by my previous videos, Blaze Falcon is one of the better ones. And on their turn, if they have an Xyz with no materials, I can activate it and take their guy and then rank up one, special summon one Raidraptor monster that has one rank higher than their Xyz monster. So it's very cool at 1. I used to play 2, but 1 is just fine now. Now we have Double Doom Force. Double Doom Force is a really clutch card. It's pretty sacky if you ask me, but its conditions are really, really tough to meet at times because your opponent won't be destroying any of your Xyz by battle. Like, even though they're really weak in stats, but you know, like, at times you're gonna be crushing your guys into their monsters. So Double Doom Force states that if one of your Raidraptors Xyz monsters is destroyed, you can activate it and special summon that Xyz that was destroyed, then special summon one Raidraptor, actually any Xyz from your extra deck that has double its rank. So, for example, if they destroy with Force Strix, you can activate this and special summon a Satellite Cannon Falcon or a Valgren or a Lancelot, anything. So this card's actually pretty clutch. It's really cool. Again, it's really sacky, but very powerful at the same time. I recommend playing 1 to 2. I'm playing 1 in my deck just because I don't want to draw it that often. I like to search it instead of drawing it. So 1, it's pretty good. For the two most powerful ones, we have Soul Shade Force and Skip Force. I will be talking about Soul Shade Force first. When this card came out, it just sounded so absurd. Like the summoning conditions or like activation conditions are actually not that difficult to meet, just because you will have a Raidraptor monster in the graveyard or Xyz in the graveyard. Paying half your life points is actually not bad, even though it sounds really like the cost sounds really hefty. So people kept thinking, man, half your life points is a lot, but for what it does, it's actually pretty good. It's one of the better ones we have, and it states that you have to pay half your life points, special summon a Raidraptor Xyz from your extra deck, then Xyz summon one Xyz monster from your extra deck that has 2 ranks higher than the monster you special summon. So you can go from Force Strix to Infinity, Force Strix to Revolution Falcon, Force Strix into Beatrice, into any rank 6, or you can go Blaze Falcon to Big Eye or Draco Sag. Who knows? You can go from Satellite Cannon Falcon to Ultimate Falcon, but I mainly use it to go into Infinity or Revolution Falcon. So I'm playing 2 right now. 3 is too many, and 1 it's not enough. So 2 is very perfect. For the last rank cap magic, Skip Force. The best one in my opinion. This card is actually nuts. The fact that it's an Astral Force, but way better because it can special summon one of your guys back. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so let me read what it says. 31 Raidraptor Xyz monster in the field. Then rank cap, special summon 1 Xyz Raidraptor monster from your extra that it has 2 ranks higher. And then you can banish this from your graveyard and another Raidraptor monster to special summon 1 Raidraptor Xyz from the graveyard. So you can special summon any of your guys and then keep ranking up. This card is actually very, very insane. If your opponent doesn't have an out to this, you probably will win the game because it lets you summon any of your powerful guys. So I would recommend playing 3 and no less. Yeah, just that simple. 3. This is a 3 of. You should be playing 3 always. And you always want to have this card, even though it's not searchable. But if it was searchable, then that would be a little bit too good. So that's it with the rank cap magics. Let's go with the monsters, Xyz monsters. We have the first one, Raidraptor Force Strix. Force Strix, it's probably the bread and butter of the deck, the soul of the deck. You want to be making 3 of these guys every time. You play 3 just because you will make 3. This guy keeps you going. It helps you set up. When this card came out to TCGA, like people were like super happy because it took us like around a year and a half to get it. So if you don't know what it does, it says that you can add once per turn detach an Xyz material, add a level 4 Dark Winged Beast from your deck, and a defense and an attack increases by 500 for every other face-up Winged Beast. So he gets pretty beefy when you start swarming the board. So you want to be playing 3 of this guy, no less. Rise Falcon, probably the least one that I summoned. He comes in handy when your opponent swarms the board. It requires 3 Dark Winged Beasts. You can detach a material, target a guy on the field, and it gains its attack, and he will always be 100 points stronger because it has 100. So you can beat over big fields. Even though I don't summon it all the time, he still comes in clutch. I would play 1 just because it's a Raidraptor Xyz and it's actually really good. For one of the better ones, Blaze Falcon, this card is actually insane. Again, I will say this. The Raidraptor Xyz monsters are probably the best Xyz monsters I have ever summoned in my life. These guys are like nuts. They have like insane effects and they're really, really good, and they always win you games. Blaze Falcon is one of the ones that actually wins a lot of games. Blaze Falcon states that you can detach one material, destroy all your opponent's special summon monsters, and they will take 500 for each. That's good. It clears board on itself. And it can attack directly even though it has 1,000 attack. But if it inflicts battle damage your opponent, you can target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. You would want to be playing 1 or 2. I'm playing 1 right now because you can recycle it back with Ness. And I have never missed the second one. I probably like a few times I missed the second one, but it's not like game breaking, so I just have the 1. For the fourth, my favorite, probably the most powerful one. This card wins games left and right. I keep hyping it up in all my videos, but it's not hype. It's actually very true. This card wins games on its own. It has always carried me to victory. I love this card. This card is like the best Xyz in the extra deck. It has 3 powerful effects. The effect that wins most of the games is the one that it can attack all your my opponent's special summon monsters, and their attack and defense becomes 0, and that's a built-in effect, by the way. The fact that they all become 0, that's a built-in effect that it has. So you can just attack into your opponent's guy, and it will always, or even if they attack into your guy, they will always be weaker than your guy. And then once per turn, you can target a monster they control, destroy. They take damage equal to half their attack. So it's not bad. You can still clear boards. Again, this card you summon this for game. Simple. This card just wins the game when it's summoned. Easy. Like, I've gone to like 3 tournaments in the past week, and I have gone undefeated because people summon a bunch of guys, and they're like, how are you going to deal with my board? And I'm like, summon this guy, attack for game. Sure. So you want to play 3 to 2. I'm playing 2 right now because I don't think 3 is necessary. But definitely the best monster in the extra deck. For one of the newer ones, Satellite Cannon Falcon. This card is nuts when it's summoned. I mean, it's Harpy's Feather Duster. Even though there's not a lot of backer in our format, but if your opponent is dumb enough to set 2 to 3 backer after destroying a Force Bricks and you double Death Force them, this guy is going to come in and it's going to rape their field because when he's special summon or Xyz summoning while controlling a Raidraptor Xyz underneath, it destroys all your opponent's spells and traps and they cannot respond to that. And it has a cute effect that you can detach and target a monster they control, and it loses 800 attack for every Raidraptor in the graveyard. So he gets pretty beefy, or they all get beefy because their monster becomes weak. So you want to be playing 2 to 3 of this guy. 2, because you need to summon 1. You need to like Xyz summon 1, and then use the second one for the Lastrix play with the skip boards to make Mr. Ultimate Falcon. Ultimate Falcon, it's actually a pretty cool card, even though it's very underwhelming, honestly. I thought it would be much better. I really thought the card would just be summoned for game, but it hasn't been that way. Everyone has an out now in Utopia of the Lightning and Kaijus, so the card doesn't stick on the field for more than 2 turns, sadly. But I mean, that's fine because I'm against Towers like cards, even though I'm playing Ultimate Falcon. But again, Ultimate Falcon is probably the worst Towers like card, in my opinion. But you still want to play it, of course. You can summon it and you can abuse it, so you will play 2 to 1. You wouldn't play 3 just because you don't really want to make it first turn. Because if you actually make this first turn and nothing else, you have nothing. You have 3 other cards in hand. You rather want to do a play and then summon this guy mid to late game to ride it to victory. So I would recommend summon this mid to late game instead of first turn, just because first turn doesn't really do much. And most people again have an out in Utopia the Lightning and Kaiju, so I don't know how I feel about this guy, honestly. I was so excited, but right now it's not so like good, I guess, just because Kaijus are everywhere. But you still want to play it. So that was it for the Xyz. Oops, my bad. You play 3, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. That's the ratio of Xyz you want to be playing, and I think that is the best ratio that I've found. I've never really missed any. Again, maybe a Blaze Falcon now and then, but you can recycle it, so it's not that bad. That was my explanation on rank out magics and Xyz. next episode I will be talking about plays that you can make with the deck and like cute like interactions that cards have, just for you to get more used to some places, because there are a lot of cookie cutter plays, but there are actually a lot of cool plays that you can pull off with this deck to go plus 10 on one turn, or not plus 10 but have 10 cards to your opponent's 6, so you go plus 5 on your first turn. It's actually really nice and it sets up for a game. So again, thank you for watching. If you've watched this long, I would recommend checking out my other videos. My deck profile in episode 1. I know I should have said this in the beginning, but just let me know what you think of the segment so far. Hopefully it keeps growing. Share this with your friends if you have more Raidraptor players. And thanks for watching. I will keep up doing this as long as you guys like me to. Thanks for watching, and I am out.